Welcome to Valheim. My name is Nilaus, and today we're going to go into another build. This is going to be a maximum height black marble magic tower. This is where we're going to be doing all of our item refining. So because it throws sparks everywhere, we want to make a tall tower, and just having throw sparks all over the base. It might not be the smartest move, but it's going to be looking really awesome. So I have reserved a city block here for our construction. What I'm going to be building first, or I have marked out first here, is just sort of an eight-sided star, and that will be the basis of our castle or our keep or tower or whatever it is. What we're doing here is just trying to sort of lay the foundation. We're going to be using black marble. We're going to be using these big blocks as much as possible. You can see here some of them they're all the same distance from the center, so that's what forms this 8 octagram castle. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And with this, we now have a solid line from the outside. Of course, we also need to get a staircase in. The issue with this is that it's going to be really difficult because it doesn't merge very easily. Making floor plans, making stuff like that, making it connect is a little bit tricky, but that's the price of getting some unique shape like this 8-sided tower that we're working on. It also just fits almost perfectly with the edges so that the staircases are here. What I'm doing is now I'm raising this inner ground here, and the reason why I'm raising is because I want to build it as tall as possible, and in order for us to build it as tall as possible, we are going to need the ground, the blue interaction as high as possible. So we want to make this one just below the surface of what we want to build it. And then we're going to mark the middle because I want to sort of build the foundation in here in the middle. I don't want to make it linked to any of the other things. I want to just make it 7 by 7. I think would be the right way. So we just need to get this one and then sort of make sure that this space in here, that is going to be where the center stone is, and then we just feed out all of the rest of it. Now we can take the wood out because the wood was just there to sort of calculate the distance and make sure that things were placed exactly in the middle. So it's a neat little trick to make sure that we get things in the middle. That means the middle of the middle tile will be here. You can also see if we look out on the edges, it will somewhat overlap with the corners. That is completely inconsequential, the fact that it overlaps from the perspective of just aesthetics. It's just how it is, but it means that we have a nice ground floor inside of our keep, and we're going to make a staircase in the middle. We're going to try to use as many of the Mistlands ingredients as possible. We used a lot of those for our previous build. You might see it once in a while in the background. The pyramids we built, the Black Forge pyramid. So now we have the ground level. What we now want to do is make it reinforced, and I reinforced it with these iron in reinforced beams. So we put those all the way down so that they are not resting on top of the stone, but they are actually resting on top of the ground, so that they will get the blue color for the first one. This is important because this is what's going to carry the roof of our building, because the roof is so high that it cannot be supported by the obsidian, just stacking obsidian on top of, it's not obsidian, black marble on top of each other. Here I'm just going to make the middle also to support the middle, to make that as strong as possible. Unfortunately it fell down because I am not raising it high enough. You can make this right below the surface and yet still have this sort of a little bit hovering, but it'll still be blue because it's close enough to the ground that it works. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for here. If we snap it to this point, it's still blue, even though it is kind of a bit hovery. But when I place this in, it gets sorted, and then we continue to build this upwards. We're going to be dragging this all the way up to the top of the tower, because that's going to be supporting the roof. We use these new stair segments. They can be superimposed on the reinforced iron beam. That means they're not going to be holding it up. It's going to be held up by the iron beam, but not by anything else. So we continue to build the iron beam, and behind the trees there we have the pyramid I was referring to before, if you want to see other interesting Mistland builds here. Now with that said, we are just continuing to build upwards. What I should also be saying is that generally what we're building is something that I built on Twitch, and then I rebuilt it here for YouTube. So if you want to be part of sort of the cool new builds and be part of the design process and come up with good ideas or bad ideas, then come on, join over on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Nilaus, and I'm streaming Valheim, yeah, let's say regularly. Let's say something like a couple of times a week. So we're just, this is going to be the formation of our build. We'll be just building it up here with these big stones, and then we need an opening as well. And you can superimpose it like this. That is our opening. Going to be very nice and simple. Then we're going to take out the corner here, and in this corner we're actually going to make some windows, because if I just made it all the way up with no windows, it would just be really bland and boring. And this is supposed to be looking like a magic tower, so we really want to make sure that it gets this magic tower feel to it. That means shimmering lights. That's what we have the wisp lights for, and we need some windows as well. Now, this is a pretty expensive build in terms of what I use. I use a lot of tar and use a lot of fine wood, but we're in the late game, so we do have all the things that we want. So now that we built all the windows, we can just fill in the blanks and get it up to sort of one level up with these big blocks. These big blocks are pretty expensive. Generally, each level of this one takes about 200 black marble, so that's a lot of skeleton skulls or dweger outposts that you need to demolish to get there. And well, it's worth it because you kind of need it. But I would recommend instead of doing the taking the skulls and the rib cages, but taking a dweger outpost and just demolishing that completely gets so much more. And now we come to the part. If you can see here, they cannot be placed in the middle. So we use the door trick, which means that if you place a door, you can actually place a wooden beam at the bottom of the bar. And then you can place it in the middle of these chunks. So you see, we place a door, and then we place the wooden beam just below it. And then we can place these windows nicely in the middle. And we place the wisp light behind the light. So we have some nice blue magical light coming from the inside of the keep, which will give us that nice magical feel that we want for our EITR generation, EITR refinery location here. We're just going to be building these so you can get a sense of what it looks like, and we are going to build the lights here as well. This will of course be something we do at every level. We will be alternating so that this is I'd say in the corner of the city block, and then the other ones will be on the sort of middle side of the city block. And we take out the little crossbar at the bottom each time we do this. And there we go. And that will be just, now we can sort of look at it from the outside. It has a nice bluish light out shining from inside. It looks absolutely amazing, especially at night. It looks amazing. Don't worry, we'll be taking a look at that. All of our workbenches here. Now we built all the way up here. You can see we're just continuing working our way up. And there's a lot of just the same every time. And remember, 200 black marble for each level. And when I say a little, that's the height. That's 2 meter height. So yeah, expensive. We'll be building this one, but then we won't be doing much more of this. It's just to get a sense of how it works as we get a little bit higher up. And this pillar, unfortunately, is stuck, but we're not going to be using the inside very much. We're just basically going to be looking at it from outside, because when we get to the top, it's going to be really complicated to get to the top. So we have a little trick. We're going to be portaling up to the top here, getting in here. Then we can now get all the way up here, and we're going to be making more of more higher up. This is the height that we can get at the end of this height. We will be making the roof, because it can only be sort of 3 stories. And what is the 3 stories? 3 stories of 8 high, so that is 24 meters in height. We can build this. Beyond that, it really starts being wobbly, and we can see that as it gets wobbly, and this is why we need our reinforced iron beams up here as well. And then we build the reinforced iron beam. We build them all the way out here, and you can see that they start going from orange, and as we get these in here, they become better green. So this is very much a good support for our build. We can just grab some more up here, and we are going to continue over on this side. And you can also see that we will be blocking our staircase. The staircase is honestly mostly for show, and also for our internal build while we're in the build process. And we'll be here, so we have a little corner, and then we need to make it sticking out to the side to support the corner as well. We're going to be making some stone floor on top of this, or black marble floor on top of this, so it needs to be sturdy, and that's why we use this. Some people will probably say, well, you can definitely get by with less. At this point, don't care. We have a lot of everything. We want to make it look nice, and all of this is of course not about being efficient. It is, or effective for that matter. It's about being making a cool design. So that we have this. So we're going to be making some spikes out here, because we have a bit of a, we want the Eye of Sauron look for it. You can also see how much it is. It's green now, greenish, and it then becomes more and more orange as time goes by. It doesn't get beyond orange, but it goes to dark orange, and you can see that is basically as much as we can. So we can reinforce it a little bit more, but we are starting to reach the end of how much we can do with black marble. So we're going to be adding more of these black marble. Is it called plinth? I don't know. These yeah, these things, yes, and we'll use those to make spikes. Whoops. Let's make the rest of them, and there we go. We've now built all of these all the way around. We still only have a framework here to work on. If we look at it and just make the next one, just get a sense of where it can be built, you can see it goes dark red, it goes even more red, and it just starts collapsing. So nope, no can do. Can't do this one. We have a nice tower. It's pretty tall right now. This is 24, 32, that was 32 meters up at that point. So at this point, we want to, just to show what we can do, we can add a little, and here we can add these inside, and that will reinforce it. Check how much that changes the color of these. Oh, if I just don't misplace them, of course. And we rebuilt this one. It's there are too many snap points here sometimes, so it's getting a little bit difficult. But as we build these, you can see they go from red, or from orange, and then they start becoming more green as we go in here. That's so it's very much worth it. Now you can see they are green, yellowish green, but they're definitely much better. And we can now start building on top of it. They will be, well, if you build it properly, that is. They will also start getting more and more red, because they, even though they are supported, they're not supported all the way up there. I am not super confident about these will stay, not at least in any location. So what I want to do is I want to make another that's sort of half a tile superimposed. So I do that by making a little 1 meter pole down below, and then take that 1 meter pole out and put that in. It's a little bit complicated, but that gives us just more support everywhere, and all the way back, all the way around, and we now have all of these spikes all the way around, and that'll look great from the outside. The only thing we're missing then is getting the flooring, and this floor will not be stone floor, but it'll be black marble floor. Black marble floor is a little bit more forgiving than stone floor in terms of how it can be built. So we prefer to have the black marble floor here and the stone floor at the bottom. If you look at this one, which is just connected to the side, it'll still be green, so no problems at all, and no problems with any of these this build. So we just fill out the entire area here with our flooring, and we now have a place to work for everything everything we want to build up here, because this is where we now want to build the EITR refinery up here. We can't get all the way around because we still need this the staircase for getting back in, and that's of course going to be an issue at some point, but we have a way to work around it, because if I want to get up to the top using a portal, but if I use a portal, then I can't get any metals up here. So I need to be getting all the metals up here when I start the staircase before shutting it down. So this looks very nice. We have now a workable location for us to work on. And what we can then do is we can make the portal here, make it there, and I have in my portal factory, or portal house, I have already built one that's called EITR, and that will be connecting here. So I've now brought some black iron up here. That black iron is used for either the EITR refinery or for the whatever it's what's the other called? I also want the Galder table. I also want that up here, not because I need it, but because it looks really cool as sort of ornament at the top. And here I will just be making some of these what are they called? They are called Dwerger walls, iron walls around here, just to sort of make sure that we don't fall down And also just to make it look a little nicer, so we don't just have these spikes into nothing. It just looks better from down below that we have these up here. They can be a little bit tricky to place, but as you place them all the way around, it'll just be looking really nice. And that's it's not the last of the metals we need up here. We also need a little bit more reinforced iron to support this. And of course, there we go. It's starting to come into its own. We're starting the next day, and we go through the portal. And as we come all the way up to the top, yeah, it's a bit of a loading time, but we can then start working up here as well. And we can ditch our the stuff that we're carrying. We're carrying some stone, some black marble. We can jump that back down again, and then we'll have to use to get up here to get the last bit of iron up here. We are going to be just taking a look at the EITR table. That's going to be right there. But the really cool thing is, if you actually lower it a little bit, then the sparks from the EITR that is refined, the EITR refined on the ground will throw sparks everywhere, and those sparks can damage things that are not made of iron or black marble, so they could shoot over at our wooden buildings. But if we just lower it a little bit here, then it will be lying not on the ground and shooting out, but in a little sort of recess, and that will be easier. So we need to sort of go a little bit down and make the floor sort of just pull down the floor a little bit. It can be done. It cannot be done by stone. I can say it can almost be done here, but as long as it sort of sticks to the underside of these reinforced iron beams, then it's all good. No problems there. And there. And now you can also see that inside here it's a little bit of a mess. There are workstations and there are just intersections. We're not going to use the wood or the staircase for anything in the future. And we reestablish, accidentally deleted one of the iron beams. So what we can do now is we can then build our EITR refinery. Need to get all the stuff for the EITR refinery, get that sorted so that we can build it. 5 and the black cores that we have found outside, and you can just build it right in this location. And you can see when it pops out, so 2 entrances, the sap is on the one side, and the soft tissue. We now have to make a staircase to get up to the location of the up here at the top. We've also now blocked it off, so now it's only possible to get up here through the portals. It means we can't get any more iron or any more metals up here, which isn't really a big deal. And now we're just testing a few different ways of how to get up here, just to see how big the staircase has to be. And I think it needs to be definitely needs to be shifted a little bit back. There's no reason to have it take so much space. I also think that it could be possible to just make it with two staircases instead of 3 staircases. It is possible with 2 staircases instead of 3. Just trying a little bit of a different feel here. Because we need to get up to the top to put the soft tissue in. The giant brain, calcified giant brain. There we go. Then we can put the soft tissue in from the top. It's workable, but I still don't like the fact that it's 3 high. I think we can just lower it a little bit again, and then see if we can get a little bit better location here. Pretty sure there's always going to be an option for making it just a little bit better. There, and we get a staircase, and we get another staircase, and we go up here, and that looks perfect. And we can just make sure that I don't fall down there by just making, there we go. That should be, well, let's make it even better because you can overlap into it. There. And now you might say, oh, but it's going to shoot all over the base. Yep, it is. And I don't care. That's part of the charm of it, that it's a magic tower. Magic towers are not supposed to be safe to the environment. They are supposed to be a hazard, and they certainly are going to be a hazard. The reason why I built this wall is because it will protect my portal. Otherwise, it will destroy the portal, and the chest we have next to it will also be moved. And what I need to do here is make these reinforcements. We are pretty far up, so things will just tend to not work very well. We could probably like squeeze in a little bit more if we really wanted to, like a little level more, but I wanted to make sure that we could build this kind of thing up here. As I'm putting here, this will be a little plateau at the top. This little plateau will serve the purpose of being where the Galder Tower is located, and then we now have all the things that we want. We can go in here and put the sap in. We can go all the other things, we go up to the top and then we put the Galba table. I wanted that to be facing this way. That will be the Eye of Sauron at the top of the Mage Tower. I think that looks appropriate. We can see it from the outside. And we are going to remove our box and then have the boxes in protected by the walls here. And we put whatever we want in here. That looks really neat. And that actually just pretty much has this. You can go put in the soft tissue, you can put in the sap here, and then we'll have to go out and get some more of that. And when looking at it from the outside, there's just a few more things that we want to do. We want to just make these things all the way around. Now, they are absolutely not necessary, but I just felt that it was just getting a little, I don't know, stony for my liking. So building it, just giving this contour to separate the levels, just makes it a little bit more neat to look at. And again, it takes a lot of tar, so you'd probably have to go out and get some more tar for this kind of build here, if you choose this. It just looks so great with this dark wood as sort of ornaments on pretty much any building. So we'll be adding the ornaments all the way around in these two levels. The last level is a little more complicated because we need to get a little bit up, and of course we need just so to make sure that we don't have dirt all the way around, and then just get a nice little paved ground all the way around the tower, getting it pretty much to completion. We would also need a little bit more lights here in front because the entrance is a little bit boring, so let's throw some lights in front of the entrance. You can just continue to do more stuff with Durga lights and all that kind of thing. So inside looks great, but that's not really the intention to look great from the inside, and more likely to look great from the outside. So I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. It takes quite a while to make these kind of videos, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, come on over to Twitch, and of course, if you really want to go the extra mile, then I do have a Patreon, and I very much appreciate all the support from everyone supporting on Patreon. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.